21st Street, Channel 54, AMTK 174.
All right. Please always accompany small children. And always wear shoes when walking throughout the train for your safety. There are various stops, smoke stops along the way. It's not every stop, so we will specify those stops for you. It's pretty limited from this point on, except for maybe Bloomington, very brief, for a smoke stop, and we need to have the instructions confirming that stop as a smoke stop. Otherwise, it would be till St. Louis. Thanks, welcome aboard. As I alluded to earlier, because of the overlapping duties and very little time allowed for us to set up the cars because of late equipment, because of our receiving the equipment late, you're noticing probably that coffee is done, but it needs to be set up for self-service. And we will have that for you, as well as ice on request, buckets of ice. I'll have a bucket with scoops, with a scoop for you, and cups, and/or cups. If you need a bucket of ice or more, let me know and I can accommodate you for that. I want you to sit back, relax. If there's any uncollected tickets or tickets that were not scanned, when I come by to greet you, please let me know at that time. Or if you need any particulars as far as your trip.
Track number 1, Juvenile southbound, if it's not back, already up there. Oh, well, good. We have some good news in those passengers, so you don't have to check thoroughly on that. Other than, please always make sure that the room that you boarded, though, is matching your ticket. That's a good idea. So that in event of an emergency, your ticket is matching your accommodation. It's a common sense idea as well. So the conductor will be coming by if there's any unlimited tickets, airline style tickets, or tickets to scan. I'll be coming by. I'll be very brief and try to answer any questions, but I'll be with you the whole trip, so allow me to just spend a minute or two. I'll greet you and then move on to the rest of the car. That way I can also set up our coffee and juice and ice beverage stand here in the middle of the car. Now the restroom facilities, there's a shower room downstairs for the economy room, so we'll have bath towels out, we'll have a red bag, that's for the soiled towels after your use. Please dispose of those towels in the red bag, empty red bag. There is a restroom. Thank you for your cooperation in helping us maintain the restroom facilities. Please dispose of all trash in the receptacles provided. We have trash receptacles in the rooms, but they do not accommodate any more than gum wrappers. So please, if you have cans or anything bigger than that, please dispose of those items in the trash well in the middle of the car and downstairs. Thanks, welcome aboard the Texas Eagle. Continuing service into San Antonio and Los Angeles. Stewart will be coming by a little later on to take your dinner reservations. AMTK 174 south on 1 clear, stay, make me right.
I-55. Even though it's in bike mode, it's still trying really hard to put us somewhere else. This is just a little bit south of Joliet. Still heading south. We're not close to the interstate at this point. It's a few miles off to the west of where the train is. But according to the map, should be re-intersecting with I-55 shortly. It kind of does a bypass to the west of Joliet. So we're probably closer to Highway 53, which does merge up with I-55 around Braidwood. Just a bit south of Braidwood and just merged with I-55. It came in from the west and now parallels the route. There's Interstate 55 there, and the highway in front, closest to the tracks, is old US 66. Route 66.
Steve with a local call through the car, reminding our guests to have your doors open and your curtain drawn if you want, so we might better assist you. This is our steward, will be coming by shortly. We just need a couple pieces of information, number of your party, and the time you'd like to join us for dinner.
Busily cutting corn out there. And I-55, which had diverged, is now coming back towards 66 again. Somewhere near the town of Odell, probably a bit north of it. I-55 is deviated once again from 66, and down there's the new 66, and next to it with all the weeds is the original Route 66. I'm not even sure what they use that for anymore. Not much of anything, I suppose. It's too broken up and very narrow. Maybe it's left there for historical reasons, sort of a landmark. The newer Route 66 is the one people have to take if they want the experience. The reason I-55 deviated is that we should be coming into the area of Pontiac right about now. And as usual, I-55 branches often goes around the towns while 66 goes through them. accelerating coming down from 65. I'm presuming that's because this should be Pontiac.
Ladies and gentlemen, next stop coming up here in just a moment. Pontiac, Illinois. This will be Pontiac. Ladies and gentlemen, by the way, Lost and Found is with the conductors. Anyone finding anything that doesn't belong to them, I'd like to get it back to its rightful owner. Please see the conductors in the dining car for the Lost and Found. Thank you.
Down to 40 miles an hour.
Any weather's fine.
Pulling out of Pontiac here. Bloomington Normal is the next stop. Got dinner reservations
Hello,
for
can I have
5:45.
LSA heading to St. Louis to the IC, please?
The Palomar Hotel. It was probably something kind of special back in the Route 66 days. Yeah, dinner reservations at 5:45. I calculated we'd get into St. Louis about 6:30. The conductor said closer to 7:30. I don't want to be eating dinner when we go through St. Louis. See how the old Route 66 there was such a narrow road. There's the newer Route 66, which here has opposing lanes. Looks like they're merging.
Oh, it's the other IC?
Or not quite. But the other side stops, and there's the old Route 66 now on the other side. So I think the newer Route 66 crossed over where the old 66 used to be. A lot of places the old 66 is used as parking in industrial areas where the route goes through towns.
St. Louis LSA on the IC.
I-55 is barely visible in the distance, just in front of the tree line. Here at the station at Normal Bloomington. Looks like a lot of students from the university getting on here. They just finished loading the first class cars, and they have to move the train to align the coach cars with the station.
Three more cars. Three. over. 321. Will you bring it to a safe stop for me, over? 21 stop. Clear now, 21. We can hop off. 21 departed.
Tell we're in the university town. All the university type buildings, tons of parking garages. Stopping at Lincoln, Illinois. Pulling into Springfield. Got the shade pulled against the sun, coming right in my eyes otherwise.
got 3 more cars. 2. 1. Half. Out of 25.
Sitting here at Springfield, and I realize that the Capitol building is visible right there. Through the dirt streaked window. It's about 6:40, and we're quickly approaching the East St. Louis area from the north. We're just about where the Missouri River merges with the Mississippi. Let's see if it shows up on the map here. Yeah, here's the Missouri here and the Mississippi here. There we are. What would that be? That would be around Alton. Track here. Lots of heaving and hoeing. This is in East St. Louis coming up pretty quickly. We should be crossing the river pretty quickly. The arch is there, but it's really hard to see. This is the interstate across the river. Looks like this will be our bridge.
or the train, since it's not needed past St. Louis, so you need to reserve your seats. While we do that,
Track 1999089. Gonna be on the 74628.
The arch is right in the middle of the picture. You can occasionally catch a little bit of light from it.
Yes, I am.
I think the station is really close here.
Go ahead and release your warp there. Over. That's correct. Over. Understand no main track switches used. Correct. Over. Amtrak warrant number 8850, MD5057, run B28 1.4 and B28 3.4. Let's report it clear at 1912 by McConney, JJF, over. Warrant number 8850. 1912 JJF, McConney. Correct, over. Correct, thank you. You're welcome, Metro.
Decelerating from 10 miles an hour. It's elevated I-64 up there on 2 layers. Westbound, it looks like on top of the eastbound.
Car swap. What's your supply? Dave 50 still with you? There's, I guess there are 20 cars there. 20 cars, Dave 10 cars to the stop now, 10. 10 cars, Dave 50. Five cars to the stop now.
Man, that's about enough.
Get us 3 more to the stop now, please.
I was getting a shower at 5:30 in the morning, and we had just stopped somewhere. Now it's 6 o'clock, and it looks like we must have been in Texarkana, and we're heading due south. will spend most of the day in Texas. Still dark outside. So our road is started in Chicago and followed I-55 down past Pontiac to normal Bloomington to Lincoln, Springfield, all the way down. At some point it diverged. I think it really took this route here because it came in more northerly down to Alton and Alton here and then came south along the river to St. Louis. It crossed over just south of the interstate bridge and then it basically followed the river down. Switched over to the Missouri map here. Went down to about here. And then it followed this highway past Farmington down to Poplar Bluff here. Crossed over into Arkansas about this point at the more or less the northeastern corner of the state. So that would have been up here. Sometime in the wee hours of the evening, we were in Little Rock. I imagine it was pretty much along the highways that go diagonally down here. And then this morning, we're in Texarkana. So I suspect we were along the interstate most of the way. But that whole section of southern Missouri and Arkansas so far has been exceptionally rough. I've never seen a train trip so far that was so rough for so long. And now we're in Texas. With all the bouncing here, it's hard to do this. Right now we're following this highway here from Texarkana, and I think we're going to go to Marshall, which is here close to Shreveport. And then the next point of call will be Dallas, so I suspect we're going to be going pretty much along here to Dallas. And we do go to Fort Worth. And then to San Antonio. So then it should be this drop south here past Austin to San Antonio. And then it's west to El Paso.
Go ahead, R6%.
Sitting here at 7:38 in the morning at Marshall, Texas. Been seated here for a bit more than half an hour. Looks like they're going to roll now. Yeah, they got the go-ahead and then the whistle blew. And we're rolling.
About 3 cars, Amtrak. One car. Do whatever you decide.
Well, I think we were sitting outside of the station. Now we're just pulled into the station.
7724 over.
Currently heading westwards from Marshall, Texas, towards Longview and Dallas. It's just before 8 in the morning.
light shot laser coming up there. If you're going to be any longer, let me know and I'll have to run it by you there. Over. Gotcha.
This is paralleling Highway 80 east and west between Marshall and Longview. Pulling into Longview.
Outside Longview, Texas, waiting on the signal to get inside to the station. Got one train waiting to pass us up. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, waiting on the freight train to pass so we can move into the station. Longview, Texas, coming up. Smoke, you have stretch your legs, you may also do so. Longview, Texas.
Texas station. So the consist on this train is really different from what I'm used to. It's only got one locomotive. It's got two sleeper cars, but one of them is for the crew. That's the front one, and this one, which is the one I'm in, and then the dining car right behind that, then the lounge car, and 3 coach cars, so it's missing the usual luggage car and 2 sleepers that have been on other trains.
That will do whenever you get a stop, Amtrak 20.
Okay, thank you. We'll be out of Mineola on time. Over.
Appreciate it. Bye, John.
Thank you. Amtrak train number 21 out.
I'll call down around Amtrak. Foreman Douglas is void at 190.3.
John.
Leaving Mineola, Texas.
P.O. Baja, dispatch 27, over.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now
Yeah, go ahead, over.
Mineola. Those of you who just boarded up aboard Amtrak 21. Our next stop in approximately hour and 20 minutes will be Dallas.
I'm thinking the UP 8037, over.
Find us in approximate arrival time, we may be subject to delays. Once again, Dallas submit.
Eastbounder, over. Correct, over.
Following Highway 80 between Wills Point and Edgewood, heading towards Dallas. We're getting very close to the outskirts of Dallas, and it is actually finally raining out here. There's a bit of rain on the window. Wish it would rain hard and clean all the dust off. It's very misty outside.
Dining car. If you plan to join us for lunch today, we ask you to take the and 12 noon for lunch today.
Just rolling into Dallas here. Fort Worth.
On car now, 821. Train number 21, T756, approach. 21.
Hey, Pontiac.
Out of day. Crossover, switching line against
We're outside of Fort Worth Station. We do have to stop and back into the station, so we ask you to remain seated until we make a complete stop at the station. We are early. We do not depart Fort Worth Station until 2:10. Once again, we don't depart from 2:10. If you wander off at the train at 2 o'clock.
Sub-dispatcher 2, my UP1619. Do you guys have a warrants release, over?
Yes, sir. Ready to give you back 8454 with no news. We had job Green River on a box 2, 954 released by Adam. Your time, over.
Once again, we do have to stop and bag into the station. We ask you to remain seated until we make a complete stop at the station. Once again, we depart on time at 2:10. If you want to have please be back at the train at 2 o'clock. If you have to make a connection to the Heartland Ferry, the train departs at 5:25. Once again, if you want to make the connection to the Heartland Ferry, it departs at 5:25. Thank you.
You too, thank you. Dispatch up.
Looks like the train will be here for about an hour and 15 minutes, sitting at Fort Worth.
Crossing over 2 to 1. 30 cars northbound.
Track train number 21. Restricting signal T756, 2 to 1. 30 cars northbound.
Now we should be backing up.
It is 21, starting at the crossover, guys approach, 2 restricted, keep coming southbound, 30 cars.
Track train 21, that second T756 is an approach, good for 30 cars northbound, crossing over.
Nice decrepit buildings here.
Track 21, still an approach, 2 restricted, clear for 30 cars northbound.
Track 21, good for 30 cars northbound, going by that approach, T755, 2 restricting.
Hello.
Yeah, also, Pat, we got some
Okay.
guys on the ground.
Oh, we're at it?
Thank you.
All right, sure.
Looks like somebody dumped Vaseline or something in there.
Yeah, they fortunately don't do much about cleaning these.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, get steam clean them or something.
Right. Thank you.
Sure.
Going by that first restricted, got a second one, let's go home, Amtrak.
Right by the first restricted, good for 5 cars, home, out. Here, Ken.
Oh, mama. Give me another 20 cars, hit the switch, over.
Right, good for 20 cars northbound, track train number 21.
Okay, attention ladies and gentlemen, this is your lounge attendant. Lounge will be closed for a short period of time.
while here in Dallas, Fort Worth. This is a service stop for the lounge. Once again, the lounge will be closed for a short period of time while we are here in Dallas, Fort Worth. Reopening announcement. Thank you.
Amtrak 21, going by that last restricted switches line, derail is down. Clear for 20 cars northbound, over.
20 cars northbound, going by that last signal, everything lined up. Track train 21.
Locomotive help system, UP 67, over. And 21 going at the cross, we got restricting in Nancy, another 20 cars northbound.
20 cars northbound, Amtrak train number 21, restricting in Nancy. Got that restricting, good 15 cars northbound, Amtrak train 21.
And 21, 8 cars northbound.
One side of the building has a sign saying University of Texas Arlington. The other side of the building has a sign up on the roof that says Santa Fe, preferably or presumably about the railway. That's a narrow little building too.
510 over. Second on, what's your total finish with your engines, over? Okay, so you should fit on number 3 between 246 and 247 right now. Yeah, we'll plan on that until they're ready for you, over. Dispatch room.
MLDR, dispatch room.
Luggage, they'll bring it over into the station to you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Get you going north up number 2 as soon as the tower clears up, and probably see one south.
Also, as a reminder, this train departs on time at 2:10. Once again, this train departs on time at 2:10.
MLDR, dispatch room.
DR, over.
Yes, sir. I just want to let you know our leader, we need is going to be a UP 3909.
3909, okay, that's fine. Yeah, straight shot over to Gear Yard, over.
Straight shot, here we go. Thank you.
Dispatch room.
Terminal dispatcher knows we're leaving on time.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Amtrak 21, the Texas Eagle southbound, making stops at Cleburne, McGregor, Temple, Taylor, Austin, San Marcos, San Antonio. This will be your connecting train for number 2, headed towards New Orleans, and train number 1, Sunset Limited, headed towards California, Los Angeles. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Amtrak 21, the Texas Eagle southbound. Also, ladies and gentlemen, some Amtrak policies which must be followed. Number 1, this is a non-smoking train. Once again,
all ready to go. All right, so thank you.
It's 2:10. Scheduled time for departure from Fort Worth.
Amtrak 21, highball Fort Worth. Over. That'll do, Mr. Billings. That'll do. Let me get this train locked up. Over. All right, sir. Conductor, Mr. Billings, train secured, ready to depart Fort Worth. On your command, sir. Over. All right, sir. Engineer Amtrak 21, highball Fort Worth. On time? On time, yes, sir. Ready to go to 78. Clear the red zone. You say 46.
And here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now departing Fort Worth and headed to our stop of Cleburne. Cleburne, Texas. Coming up, ladies and gentlemen.
Amtrak 21, standing by for running air. Over. I got a good set, 21, release them when you're ready, over. Alright, fully released, highball running air, Amtrak 21.
Check 54, all stop, T755.
Alright, sir, all stop.
16, 19, continue. Check 174, approach, T755.
Approach, we got that 10, no flags, 345-7, over.
10, over.
Forward, civil dispatcher, over.
1619 dispatcher.
1619, over.
Yeah, Magnolia's line back for main line movement on number 1. All clear in AR.
In the clear main 1, line to lock, normal, over.
That is correct.
Dispatcher.
1619. One second back.
Go ahead, over.
Yes, sir. I'm back. Going forward, ready to go, whatever you think.
Okay, on the bypass 2, correct, over.
Number 2 bypass, correct, over.
Alright, yeah, stand by, we'll get you going, over.
T756, stop signal, seconds, T756.
Alright, coming up to the stop, thank you.
Forward turn with dispatcher, Amtrak 174.
174, I got your request at the second signal there. Is just let me know when you're stopped, over.
Okay.
big cluster of I-30 crossing I-35 here. Supposedly following, let's see, what would it be? I-35 west, straight south. Southbound near Highway 174, just past Cleburne, Texas, which itself is a bit south of Fort Worth. In the area of Copperell, K-O-P-P-E-R-L. Oh yeah, it's right off of Highway 174, southwest of Cleburne, or Claiborne, and more or less west of Hillsboro. It's by this river that runs north and south, and there's a, I think, artificial lake, Lake Whitney, right by it. But that's on the other side of the train. These must be the tops of wind turbines. It's pretty cool. Interesting to note that these tank cars are actually tapered down to the middle, so they're not the same diameter all the way through. This model here is the same diameter.
South Copperell. Got that 6289.9 over. 68.
To the passengers, this is Lucius, your lead service attendant in the dining car. First, all passengers, we will be running dinner service as usual this evening. Once again, dinner service will run as usual. That mechanical problem was taken care of in Fort Worth, so we will be able to service everyone in the dining car tonight that would like to join us. Once again, mechanical problem was taken care of in Fort Worth, so we will be able to service anyone that would like dinner in the dining car tonight. Also in the dining car tonight, in just a few minutes I'll be coming through to take dinner reservations for this evening. These are reservations only. I'll give you the available times to choose from for dinner. Will not be taking orders. I also ask that you keep in mind, due to the schedule arrival time into San Antonio tonight, there will be no late dinner seatings. The times that I come by and give you will be early seatings, and those will be the times for dinner tonight. Once again, that is due to the schedule arrival time into San Antonio, which will allow the dining car staff to perform its duties before we board the train this evening. Tonight our dinner menu consists of our vegetarian shell pasta at $16. We also have herb roasted chicken. The herb roasted chicken is a half a chicken at $16.75. The healthy option light entree tonight will be breast of chicken with marsala mushroom sauce. That is also $16.75. The chef's evening marketplace special tonight is braised beef short rib at $19.75, and we have spice rub Atlantic salmon at $23.25. And as always, we have our Black Angus flat iron steak at $25.75. Also on the menu tonight for children 12 and under. Once again, these items will be for children 12 and under only. The Hebrew National Hot Dog, grilled cheese sandwich, pepperoni or cheese pizza, breaded chicken breast tenders, and macaroni and cheese, all at $7 each. Once again, those items are for children 12 and under only. Our desserts tonight, we have a chocolate brownie or a New York cheesecake at $6 each. And we also have vanilla, gelato, and orange sorbet at $3.75 each. Beer, wine, and cocktails are also up.
Passing Crawford, Texas, just a little bit west of Waco. This town is famous for something. I'm trying to remember what. Was it the Branch Davidians or something? Something like that. This area is a little more wooded. A bit hilly.
We'll be making 2 stops here at McGregor. First, we got a spot for the sleeper. Then we'll pull down for the coaches, ladies and gentlemen. Sleeper, then the coaches at McGregor, ladies and gentlemen. And approximately about 10 minutes, we'll be arriving at our stop of McGregor.
This highway here is Highway 56, which runs north and south through Crawford. And McGregor is the next town, and it's where Highway 56 crosses Highway 84, the east-west highway. Up on McGregor.
Arriving. Bigger.
Get to the crossing, Robert. You can pull down in front of the depot. Just pull them down in front of the depot. Too much water there.
Looks like they had a little rain.
Half a car there, Amtrak 21. 10 feet, Amtrak 21. That'll do when you get them stopped, sir. That'll do. Alright, head into Amtrak number 21, let's pull them down. 4 more, over. Amtrak 21. One to go, Amtrak 21. Half a car, Amtrak 21. That'll do when you get them stopped there, 21, that'll do. North McGregor departure. Approach medium, alright.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now departing McGregor, and our next stop will be Temple, Texas, in about 30 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Temple, Texas, in about 30 minutes, and Temple will be a smoke stop. Temple, Texas, coming up next.
into Temple, Texas. It has been raining a lot here. I heard they got tons of water in Austin, which is probably the next stop.
Service attendant in the dining car. Passengers with 5 o'clock reservations are welcome to the dining car. 5 o'clock reservations to the dining car, please. 5.
This is Temple, Texas.
Indication, over. First Street, diverging approach.
Departing Temple.
Approach medium to a diverging approach, thank you. Temple 57 and 06, over.
Copy that.
Thank you, man.
Temple, and our next stop will be Taylor, Texas, coming up next. And our next smoke stop will be at Austin. Taylor, then Austin, ladies and gentlemen.
Looks like we're about ready to cross Highway 95 here any moment. Says we should be right on top of it. And here it comes. Looks like it's an overpass. Southbound between Holland and Bartlett. Which are both kind of east of Georgetown and north of Austin. And it looks like we're paralleling Highway 95. Into San Marcos, Texas. Alright, it's 6 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, and according to the GPS we're off of Highway 90 near the Mexican border, and there's a big reservoir right on the border that extends up, and then there's a highway going like this, and the nearest place I can find that matches that is here near Del Rio. And actually, about 15 minutes ago or so, we did stop somewhere as I was taking a shower, and that was probably Del Rio, so we're up here now. So there's still a lot of Texas to cross to get to El Paso up here. And what do we do during the night? Out at San Antonio. So we went this far from here to here. And then not terribly far to here, so what is that? The mileage chart. Makes it sound like we've only gone 140 miles, and that doesn't seem like it can be right. But yet I don't see any other places that bear any resemblance to it. Okay, this says 2-something-7 up here, and that is 277, so that's all we're at is Del Rio. According to this, Del Rio is supposed to be reached at 5:49 in the morning, so I guess we're on time. The main problem is that the train apparently didn't start rolling from San Antonio until 2:45 in the morning. I went to bed at 9:30, so I didn't realize it waited that long on the station before moving. So I've been going about 3 hours. Must have been making fairly slow time though. Alright, well, looks like today is going to be Southwest Texas. Because we're down here at Del Rio. And we're still supposed to get all the way across here to Los Angeles. Long way to go yet. We don't get to Tucson until about dinner time, so it'll be getting just dark. I was hoping we could see some of the boneyard. Doesn't look like that's likely to happen. It's going to take all day to get this distance from here to here, and then this remaining distance at night. So it's 7:50 in the morning. When I got up at 5:30, we were near Del Rio, and then after my shower, went to breakfast, and just finished from breakfast and come back to the sleeper car at 7:50, and we're close to Dryden. I don't know if the camera's going to be able to focus on that. There we go. Dryden. And when we were at San Antonio for hours last night, and they rejiggered the car, and they added a lot of the train that was coming from New Orleans and turned it into the Sunset Limited going to LA. My sleeper car was the only sleeper car on the train, not counting the crew car, and it was the first passenger car on the train. So it was basically the locomotive, and then the crew car, and then my sleeper car, and then after that was the dining car, then the lounge car, and then the three coach cars. But now, as I was surprised to find out this morning, my sleeper car is the last car on the train, and in order to get to the dining car, I have to go forward through, I think it's 4 coach cars, and then the lounge car, and then the dining car, and then forward of that are at least 2 more sleeper cars that came in from New Orleans. So it's a very different layout.
No defects. Total 4. Train speed 7.4. MPH temperature 6.8 degrees.
Morning when I got up, we were near Del Rio, and now we're near Dryden over here. US Highway 90. I presume that's the route that the tracks will take us. Supposedly there's a big bridge of some spectacular nature near Del Rio, but the conductor said we went over it in the dark, so don't get to see that. It looks like there'll be some scenic stuff happening up here after Marathon up to Alpine and Marfa. It's listed as a scenic route, so in about the same time as it's taken since I woke up, a couple hours, we should be there before that. Halfway between Dryden and Sanderson. I wonder if this land is useful for any kind of grazing. It's very desolate otherwise. Looks like a bit of a dry riverbed right here, meandering around.
Okay, detector, milepost 497.2, no defects. Total axle 4, train speed 49, mph, temperature 70 degrees, detector out.
Approaching Sanderson, Texas.
Center 436 Amtrak 1, over.
I wonder if they have problems with graboids out here.
Amtrak 1, over. Amtrak 1, you guys got a station stop right there, Sanderson, correct, over? Yeah, we don't depart here until 24, or you guys will depart from now, over. Okay, now we're just coming off of a warm start, and I've got that OS at 517 still in monitor. So hopefully in the next minute or two it'll actually come back, and I'll have to signal you guys. If not, you guys ready to depart, just give me a holler and we'll get you through there, over.
Alright, it's clear right now.
Oh, it is clear. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Now, I know we're having a full trickle back after they restarted everything, so if it's clear, we'll take it.
Alright, thank you.
Thanks.
Kind of curious flat cars here. I wonder what their purpose is. Almost looks like they've got a small set of rails going down them. Departing Sanderson. bit south of Highway 90 at just before 9 o'clock in the morning, and according to the GPS we're just a little bit southwest of the town of Rosenfeld, and coming up on Tesnus. It'd be nice if we could lose some of these clouds. It'd be a little brighter and prettier.
Advanced approach, over. 545 advanced approach, number 1.
Halfway between Rosenfeld and Tesnus. About 9:15. We're between Tesnus and Haymond, a bit south of Highway 90 and a bit east of Highway 385.
Give it section 436 online.
We're going only about 38 miles an hour. Not sure why we're going so slowly out here. Alright, it's 10 o'clock in the morning, and we're sailing along next to Highway 90 by the town of Lenox. It's really cold. I'm not sure why, but you think it should be snowing. The windows aren't cold, so I don't think it's that cold outside, but inside the car I had to put my jacket on first time on this trip.
Member of your party in your accommodation, curtain open, door open, so we can get you that reservation time that you desire. Now, coach car passengers, after we're done with the sleeping car passengers, then we'll work our way back through the coaches. And ladies and gentlemen, the policy on Amtrak is the Sightseer Lounge is the last car that we go through. So if you are in the Sightseer Lounge and want to have a reservation, you need to either be in your accommodation or in your seat. Once again, the dining car is closed. Now also too, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go through this time change after we leave Alpine, Texas, meaning you're going to roll your clock back 1 hour. Once again, 1 hour. Dining car is rolling the clock back as we speak. 1 hour. Thank you.
Going past Altuda. Highway 67 comes in from the north and intersects with Highway 90.
Ladies and gentlemen, in just a few minutes I'm going to start taking reservations in the sleepers, and then I'll go through the coaches. Our seating times will be 12, 12:30, 1 o'clock, 1:45. We do anticipate a very busy lunch today. If you run out of your preferred seating,
Anyway, so we're right about here. It's what they constitute part of the scenic area. Alpine will be the next town. Entering Alpine, Texas. Rain here quite a bit from the looks of it. Roads are very wet. Still in Alpine, Texas. That's what I love about these places. You know, you haven't found a shanty until they've got the bucket seats from a van lined up on their porches, easy chairs.
Lunch reservations, lunch reservations.
Departing Alpine.
Conductor Jerry and the rest of the crew would like to welcome you on board Amtrak train number 1, Sunset Limited, bound for Los Angeles, California. We'd like to thank our passengers for helping us maintain the Sunset Limited as a smoke-free environment. There is no smoking on board this train. That includes electronic cigarettes. If you are caught, you will be put off. Your next opportunity for a smoke break will be our next station stop. Approximately 3.5 hours. Your safety is important to us. Please observe the emergency exit and instruction signs located throughout the train. We also ask that you take a moment to review the safety instruction card in the seat back in front of you or in your sleeping car accommodation. When moving about the train, hold on to the overhead luggage rack and seat backs for stability. When passing through the vestibules between the cars, please use the candy stripe handrails. And when moving about the train, shoes must be worn at all times. Even if you're going to the restroom, please wear your shoes. We ask that you keep track of your possessions and please do not leave them unattended. Carry-on items can be stowed in the overhead luggage rack or in the lower level. All luggage must be visibly tagged with your name and address. Please keep your luggage locked at all times. Please carry your ticket with you as you move about the train. If you have any questions or would like to report any suspicious activity during your trip, any uniformed Amtrak employee will be happy to assist you. Once again, my name is Conductor Speck. On behalf of Conductor Jerry and Conductor Atkins, we'd like to welcome you aboard Amtrak train number 1, Sunset Limited, bound for Los Angeles, California, making all station stops.
About 10 in the morning Mountain Time, paralleling Highway 67, which I think is also still Highway 90, just east of the town of Marfa.
That's a bunch of weeds.
Looks like the rain has stopped, but the road is still fairly wet. Pretty barren countryside, but it is not totally flat. Looks like there's the town of Marfa coming up in the distance. Places out here that seem to be abandoned that are just collections of old trailers and trucks. You wonder if anybody had lived there at some point, and if so, doing what. sized cemetery out here. And we're back to the nothingness.
Failure. Total axle 17. Train speed 45. MPH. Temperature 59 degrees. Detector out.
Copy that, George, over. Copy that, Terry failure. Proceed with the rule to the next detector, over. Here we go. Dispatcher, 38 over. 38, Amtrak 1 calling over. Go ahead, over. Yes, sir, detector 640.0, integrity failure, 17 axles instead of 44 and 45 on the speed. We were going through there at track speed at 50. To let you know about it, over.
Sounds like the there's a bad integrity detector in the tracks. It gave us a bogus report, and the train engineer noticed it.
That's correct. 17 axles, we actually have 44 over.
Yeah, he's reported it to the dispatcher so they can fix it.
Okay, John, thank you. Amtrak on. Dispatch, here we go.
Near Valentine, Texas. Yeah, it's about 10:40 Mountain Time.
UP detector, milepost 671.0. UP detector, milepost 671.
That detector's working all that well. About 11:20 Mountain Time. It's about 11:20 Mountain Time, and we're near Eagle Flat and Allamore, Texas, on 81 miles an hour. There's some mountains in the distance, but I don't think that the camera's trying to pick them up really well. You can see a bit of them. So here's Allamore and Eagle Flat where we are west. Sierra Blanca is over here, and that'll be the next town we're coming to pretty shortly. So we're getting up towards El Paso pretty quickly. But now we're no longer along Highway 90/67, or 67 branch to go down here, so it was 90 again, but we're now paralleling Interstate 10.
Just another reminder, got that 30 coming up at 736.90 over. I want to copy that 30 up, 736.90, thank you.
It sounded like the BN.
Mr. Atkins, can you give me the phone number for the El Paso ticket office, over? Copy that, stand by. Back 915-545-2248, over. Copy, thanks, Al.
Approaching Sierra Blanca. This will be Interstate 10 that we're going underneath.
Back to 38, Amtrak, 180 west, over. AMTK 180 west, go ahead, dispatcher, over. Got one more unforeseen for you between Small and Finley, over. AMTK 180 west, Engineer Kohler ready to copy, over. AMTK 180 west, that's 180 west, do not exceed 15 mph between milepost 759.25, 759.25, and milepost 759.75, 759.75. The main track, no flight display, roll 34.2.13 applies, or 180 west. Copy, do not exceed 15, that's 15 mph between milepost 759.25, milepost 759.75, no flags are displayed, rule 34.2.13, over. TT 180, 180 west, that is correct, 1233-1233 JP, over. AMTK 180 west, copy, OK time 1233, JAP, over. AMTK 180 west, copy, thank you, dispatcher, carry one up. Amtrak 180 west, copy that, unforeseen speed restriction, do not exceed 15 miles per hour between milepost 759.25 to milepost 759.75. Main track, no flags displayed, rule 34.2.13 applies, okay at 1233 JAP, over. Anyone, that's correct. Here we go up.
Leaving Sierra Blanca. It's 12:11 Mountain Time. We're near Fort Hancock, just south of Interstate 10 and very close to the border in the Rio Grande River. That would put us, here's Fort Hancock. And the border is the river. That would put those mountains out there on the far side of the border. There's a lot of nice stratification in those rocks. And there's a band of trees that's visible right about in the middle of the picture. And that's probably where the river is. Usually there's a bunch of trees right where the water is. But as usual, you get out in these areas and there's all this evidence of habitation that's been abandoned. You always wonder what they saw in that location to put something there. Interstate is visible over there.
Thank you.
Nice little strip of cloud right there, seemingly cut off from everything else. Very low level, just like a rope.
Please come to the dining car, passenger Wanda.
we're so close to the Rio Grande that we're into the agricultural area that is able to be irrigated from the river. Groves of trees and other crops. This should be, I don't know if it's Tornillo or Tomillo. Looks like it's so bouncy I can't even read the map. Looks like Tornillo coming up in El Paso pretty quickly. Groves of trees.
For me coming up 820.25 Beltron and a 40 at 821 on one track if they cross over, thank you. And an Amtrak train 1 EMTK 180 West
Socorro,
Beltron over.
Texas, border town. Right on the outskirts of El Paso. Things look a little more prosperous here, but still in that
MTK 180
desert.
West calling Foreman Beltron over.
In that desert squalor sort of way.
Hey, dispatcher 494, UP Beltron over. Here, Amtrak calling you. He's between Boyd and Rosedale now. Dispatcher 494. AMCK 180 West, go ahead, Foreman Beltron, over. That's correct, AMCK 180 West, Engineer Kohler, ready to copy. We're coming down 2 tracks to get a permission to your Form B, over. AMCK 180 West, you broke up, can you repeat, over? Heading 1, copy that. We're coming down G-track at your yellow-red board, over. Copy that. Heading 1, conductor Atkins, yellow-red flag for the 4B, over. Yellow-red flag for the 4B, thank you out.
Supposed to be a stop here or not. Slowing down as if there's a station, even though I don't see it on the timetable. This is a prison or something. Got the clearance to move, and we are starting to move.
Just a reminder, 30 miles per hour, that form B 82.0.25, over. Well, copy that. 30 mph to the form B, 820.25, 822.75, thank you out.
Highway 375 makes a loop in the area we are, and that's just off to the left. That's where all these businesses are centered on. There appears to be a ditch here. I don't think it's for irrigation. I suppose it's for flood control.
Ladies and gentlemen, for those passengers this afternoon that will be detraining at El Paso, there will be no detraining from the lounge car or the dining car. You'll need to return to your coach or Pullman car seat in order to detrain. Once again, there will be no detraining from the lounge or
Omaha Dispatcher 240, over.
in El Paso. You'll need to go to one of the coaches or one of the sleepers to detrain. Thank you.
37713 West, go ahead, over.
for the heads up, UP 7713 West, you are a key train. Thank you. Bye, trail.
Charlie, party of 1, and John, party of 2. This will be the last call. If you'd like to have a seat in the dining car for lunch, Charlie, party of 1, and John, party of 2. Last call if you'd like to have lunch with us. We have a table for you.
El Paso.
Yes, California.
My line of
And your children are in where?
That's actually
Now, young lady, what can I get you?
I love the
The Angus burger? Cheese?
cheddar. You love the Pontiac. And it really is.
You know? You're in the big one or little one? We were going to get the big one, then changed, and then we got the little one. We leave at 1:40. It's really not bad. Okay. What time is it now? It's not exactly. Almost 1:15.
Ladies and gentlemen, for your information, there is a burrito lady that usually comes and stands outside selling homemade burritos, excellent burritos, for the low, low price of $2. You'll usually find her on the platform down by the coaches. I believe her name's Miss Juanita, but don't quote me on that. But anyway, delicious homemade burritos, different varieties. You might want to get some for a late night hunger pains. Thank you.
Lunch break time.
If you're looking on the outside of the train, folks, also, folks, we're going to
It's Mexico on the other side of the fence there.
very shortly and enter the state of Mexico.
So this is the closest we've gotten to Mexico on this trip, and according to the conductor just now, it looks like we'll be crossing into it.
Also, that black fish you see, folks, is the borderline between the country of Mexico and the United States of America. That black fish.
Which we can't see the black fence from here. It's down below the train. But I misunderstood the conductor. We're not crossing into the country of Mexico. We'll be crossing into the state of New Mexico shortly. Now you can see the border fence.
We're going to enter the Alton chapter of the state of Mexico. The Rio Grande River here does divide the country of Mexico from the state of Texas and the state of New Mexico. Now this river is about 200 inches deep. Maybe not that, maybe 100-inch deep. Very deep river as we go across.
Is it open? Hello?
It is closed. She's on her lunch break.
She's been on a lunch break ever since we stopped. I am walking back. Oh, you can get some sleep right here. Man, I live 10 minutes away from Mexico. San Diego. Beautiful city.
It is.
Beautiful. And I was born in New Mexico.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Wait. See, I'm sitting there. You come down here and get some sleep. He said they're on their lunch break. She shouldn't be gone too long. So she heard. He said she.
I figure she called a lunch break just before I went to lunch, and I just finished.
Yeah.
So she got to be coming off it pretty soon.
Pretty soon. That's why I ain't gonna walk back up there. She should.
I don't know. I just want to walk back up there.
Okay, folks, at this time we're about to go across the Rio Grande. I want everybody to look back and say goodbye, Texas. Everybody wave.
That's Mexico over there.
Fuck you, Texas.
Yeah, see you later.
Never again.
Hello to the land of enchantment.
That's where I was born. Land of enchantment.
The time the front of the train is going across the Rio Grande.
I was born.
The engine deep today.
This fucked up state too. This the 5th largest, but it ain't nothing up in there. Talking about desert. You're gonna see desert. We be through here in a minute. Too cold. Let's hike you right. It's too cold.
I don't know what's down and shit like that.
I look down, not now. If it was way up, I wouldn't. I'd be. I don't like heights. When I was young, your age, I didn't care about them. But now, it seems like when I get up high, I get shaking.
Yeah, I don't fuck with heights.
Like airplane.
We had the bread to get on there.
I had the bread too. I could pay $565 round trip. I said, hell no. I called the train station. They said $314. I said, get that.
Going along Interstate 10, which we're just now crossing under. Between the towns of Carne on the west and Donna or Dona on the east, and probably Deming is coming up fairly soon to the west. We just came up from El Paso diagonally, passing Las Cruces, and merged with 10 just a little while ago. We're pretty close to Deming, New Mexico, and here is Interstate 10.
UP detector milepost 121 5.4. Track. No defect. Total axle. 443.
Doing fine. How are you,
That's the
sir?
Deming, New Mexico Amtrak station right there.
We'll be out of your way in just a minute.
That is the station. Just went through Lordsburg, New Mexico at 4:20. There's the scenery outside. I-10 in the distance. Sailing along here in extreme western New Mexico at 4:35, pretty much westbound. The sun's coming in quite a bit from the south. You can see I-10 right there. Gravel road that follows along the tracks. I presume it's for track servicing, going through all the arroyos and so on. We're just about ready to cross into Arizona. Trying to get the GPS zoomed in so I can see right when we're doing it. And there's the sign for Arizona, and we just crossed in. It's spot on the money. San Simon coming up next. And on the map, San Simon is in the shadow. San Simon is there. We've got this much further to go to get to Tucson. 4:35 now. And I don't know how many miles that is. But it looks like it's 35. Well, probably a good couple hours yet. The train isn't going very fast. If we got by 6:30, there might be just a little light. I'm going to go past Davis Monathan. Alright, 5:15. Coming up on Wilcox, Arizona. Wilcox is here, so we're making pretty good time. I'm still thinking it'll be after 6 by the time we get to Tucson. past the town of Cochise. I-10 is just off to our right. It's 5:30. Dragoon is coming up shortly. Surprisingly, there's a grove out here in the desert. Wonder where they get the water. Does look like it's irrigated. Didn't think there were any bodies of water around here.
Amtrak 180 West, red signal here at Civil on the number 2 track, over.
All stop Civil. Amtrak 180 West out.
Looks like we're gonna have to stop. Like
AMTK 180 West. Clear signal, 2 track Civil, over.
Back on green at Civil. Amtrak 180 West out.
Looks like we picked up an extra locomotive as well when we were camera refocus. Thank you. Up towards St. David.
Airplane detector milepost 1036.7, track 2, no defect. Total axle 4, train speed 4, MPH temperature 71 degrees, detector out.
There's this big dry gulch just off to the side of us here. All this erosion from runoff.
On dinner reservations, ladies and gentlemen, your tables are ready, 5 o'clock.
6 o'clock, and we're at Benson, Arizona, which is here, just east of Tucson.
I don't think we're going to have a relief crew by 9 o'clock. 1 more hour.
Departing Benson, Arizona at 6:20. Not really a train station there at all. Just a parking lot. Highway 83 intersects Interstate 10 east of Tucson, and the sun's getting ready to set, getting pretty low. This area is just crisscrossed with various highways and bridges, overpasses, other railroads, deep gulches. Looks like we're going to cross Interstate 10 again. That, wow. Now we've turned, we're not crossing the interstate after all. Coming up on Vail, which is just on the outskirts of Tucson area. Getting the sun to set here just as we're going through Vail at 5:50. It was 6:50, but since we're in Arizona, and apparently Arizona doesn't do daylight savings time, it's the same time as what Pacific time.
AMTK 180 west.
Same as California.
Approach diverging. 180 west out. Signal indication south yard open. Go ahead over.
Using the location.
Up the Thurman should set you up there at 970. I can't clear that signal. Let me talk to Thurman there. I'm going to need their help to get you a signal there. Emerging clear at Bill 1 to 2, change channel.
Here's Davis Monathan.
Change channels on a emerging cleared Bill.
The boneyards all around here. And we are
check 180
here, coming up on it pretty quickly.
And check.
We should be coming up pretty soon on the Pima Air and Space Museum on the right. Go right by it.
97.9, track 2, no defects, total access.
Okay, Pima Air and Space Museum right here. Got the B-36 out there, you can make it out. Got the tail sticking up there. And we're in Tucson now. Looks like the tracks are going to bend to the north.
Train 1, approach diversion, 213. They approach diversion, 180 west out.
Paralleling Alvernon Road or Alvernon Way. So we're northbound now. Not really sure where the Amtrak station is. The Tucson station. My room. Here it is, the third night at 9:30. We're just pulling out of the station at Maricopa, Arizona, just south of Phoenix. Laying here in bed, got the curtains drawn. Got the blue night light on. Curtains to the hallway drawn. See if I can get this thing to focus up again. In the dark, it doesn't really seem to want to. Got the reading light. Unlike the other trains I've been on, which had a halogen bulb or something, these have got LEDs, so they've been retrofitted. I don't know if the lights in the ceiling are any different. Maybe not. Plus, they've changed to touch switches. It's Wednesday morning. Got up at 4 for a shower. The shower was busy, and then the toilets were busy. So now it's 5 o'clock, and I've finished cleaning up. And I see that we're right here, paralleling Interstate 10 still, and we're sort of south of Fontana, coming up on Rancho Cucamonga. Not that far from Los Angeles, and we're moving along at a pretty good rate, 50 miles an hour. Not bad for a congested area. Not sure when we're expected to get in, but it was originally supposed to be 5:30, so maybe that'll still happen. I met the room attendant in the hallway, and he thought it would be about an hour late, so we'll have to see, but right now there's not a lot you can see outside. Going through a rail yard. So, after we did Tucson, we went up to Maricopa to let off the people for Phoenix. And then I think we probably just paralleled. Now this is Interstate 10 goes up this way, that we've been paralleling for so long, but by the time we got to Maricopa, we diverged, and I think we followed Interstate 8 here.
I think we're changing point there.
Crossing over at Yuma. We definitely went through Yuma. And if I flip to the California page, which is amazingly hard to do with one hand. And here's Yuma down here. I think we probably followed I-8 along here to San Diego, but I'm not sure if that was part of it or not. Yuma, Palm Springs, Ontario. So instead of going to San Diego, I believe we came across here on Interstate 8, probably to El Centro, and then would have followed whatever that highway is, 86. 86 here, past the Salton Sea, up to here, and Palm Springs. That's where we were when I woke up. And then the time it took me to get a shower, we got over to about here, that distance. And now we're passing through Riverside, which is right here. Looks like we should be going straight into, let's see, where's Riverside? Here's Riverside. And we GPS zoomed out so far. Can't tell where we are. So we're nearly by Upland, and here's Upland. So we are straight south of Rancho Cucamonga right now. Right about here. Just pulled into Pomona. Looks like a freight's gonna pass us here. So we're just coming up from South Almonte here towards Rosemead and Alhambra. So we're coming up this way now. And it's 5:54. It's 6:08. We're definitely getting into Los Angeles finally. Still paralleling I-10 more or less. Right now we're just about here, getting ready to cross I-5 and aiming down this direction right here.